Conditional formatting is a powerful way to be able to actually see what's happening with the data without trying to sit there and work out which is higher or lower or how something performed against a previous time or target. But one of the problems you have with conditional formatting is different people want to see different things. And sometimes people don't even want to see the conditional formatting. So I'm going to show you how you can dynamically change the conditional formatting or turn it off to give the user the power to be able to select what they want to see. Let's jump into my Power BI desktop and I'll show you how to do it. So here is a great example of what you have when you've got something with a lot of conditional formatting on it. You have different types of conditional formatting that might exist in a table. In this case, you've got the gradient level here on this one, and then here we are looking at versus the previous year. So green if it's performing better and red if it's not. Now, if you had the user who wanted to be able to look at this in a different way, say high to low, you would normally have to create another table that would give them that information, or use maybe a bookmark to be able to switch between the two. But this gives you the means to be able to filter. So as we can see over here, we see a change in what the high to low looks like, and over here we do not. So if I just switch this one to state, we can then see if we can then change what the conditional formatting looks like with just this filter. And this one allows us to see high and low. So you see, you're dynamically changing what the conditional formatting is in the table for these different metrics. The only one that isn't changing is the margin, because the margin is actually set the normal way of where you go into your cell elements, select your background color, and then you just set it like this. So it's static. Where if I was to then look at the total sales, you'll see I'm using an actual field that's already been created. And the field is basically a switch that is changing different metrics that I've created for the actual means to be able to create the conditional formatting. So for the instance of the sales one here, we've got this switch happening, which is basically going, if this is selected, do this one, or if it's not, do this one. And in the case here, we've got one that's basically looking at the min and max of table against the subcategory. So what we've got here, subcategory, and then max green, min red. We've got the hex codes hard coded to then give you the outcome of what the red and the green is. And then we've got another variable that then looks at if total sales this year versus last year, if it's less than 0, then red, and it's not green. So it's basically a variance on looking at total sales this year or whatever year selected against the previous year. And then that's how you get the output. So if you've got a target against another particular metric that you want to look at, where you need to know the variance is either greater than or less than 0, this is exactly the formula you need to do. But I'll go through these formulas a little bit more in a sec. The main thing here is showing you how you can then set up something that will allow you to do the filtering to change them. And the main driver we have up here is we've got a filter that is just this table that I've created that has these sections in here. So if I go over to the conditional format here, we see a table where I've created a title, which is versus previous year, which is whatever you want to do for the either is target or that. But in this case, I'm just using this year versus last year or whatever year selected. And then your high-low, which is min-max, and then none, which is basically turn it off. And that is simply created by just doing an enter data, which you can find in the home section, and then you can just create your table. So if we just call this one CF test, and then up here, we're going to call this type or CF type test, and then we can then add in versus PY, add in another one, high, low, and then add another one called none, and then so we can keep the order, so otherwise you'll get this sort order of alphabetical. We want to go 1, 2, and then we do load, and then we've got our type here, so we've got our table all saved. And then as you can see, if we switch between the two, they are exactly the same, just different titles. And then all that matters in here, so if we just make this model a little bit smaller, you'll notice these are disconnected, because all you're using them as is just a means to be able to select something that's changing something, but nothing to do with another table. So you just leave them disconnected, don't have to do anything with them for relationship purposes. So all you need to do is just add it to a slicer. So in this case, if I just remove this one, it's going to set it to what the max is, because these are what my measures are. And then if we go to here and then go this one, we now can do high, low, none, and we don't like that sort. So what we want to do is select on that, sort by column, sort, and then we got our previous high and then none. And as you can see, it does nothing. because we don't have any measure that is driving that yet. So if we were to do total sales, let's grab this one. And then what I'm going to do is drop that in as a measure. So let's do new measure. And then I'm going to call this one total sales switch test. So different one. So I'll break down what each part of this measure does. This is a variable that is capturing what the conditional format selection is in this table. In this case, it's still reverted to the one that I've just showed in the example. But if we update it with this new table that I've created called CF test, and this is the field. So if we go CF test, that is our titles. So that what we want to use in our slicer and be able to select which one it is. The reason being is if we come down to here, you'll see CF and CF. So this is related to here. So underscore CF is our variable name, and it's going if equal to versus previous year or high low. That's what we want to switch between. So if it's versus previous year, we want to use this variable. If it's high low, we want to use this variable. If it's not, then white. And that's where the none comes in and makes it blank. So for now, what I'm going to do is put this one into here, and you'll see this will go blank because at the moment we've got it set to none. So come to this table and go all the way down to cell elements. We're on our total sales already, but if it wasn't there, select it anyway. Go to the FX under the background color. Normally what you do, you find yourself here, go down to field value, and then under here, you want to be able to find your switch, which we just created there, and then you've got it there. Then we do OK, and then you'll see here it's blank, and then if we do high low, changes. You see nothing else is changing because it's still linked to the other measure, but for this example you can see it in action. So now it's done the same, and then we've done our high low. And I'm just using two examples here of two different conditional formats. There's many different ways to do different conditional formatting. You could do a percentage based conditional format. You can do your gradient conditional format. There's many different ways out there. Just have a look to find out how to create them with DAX. But I'm just using these two as an example to show you how you can set up your conditional formatting. You don't have to do exactly like these, but this is how you can do it so people can switch between whatever conditional formatting you've created. So back to what this is doing. Again, this is just the conditional format title to select. You want to call it max. The reason why you want to use max is even if you use something like selected value or anything like that, it thinks it wants to be a value. You want this to be whatever it's set at, which is text in essence. If you do selected value, you'll get a grayed out okay and it won't work. For this to work, I had to set it that whatever max is selected in that field, that is what it feeds back. And then it works. Took me an hour to get that to bloody work. And then whatever colors you want. I've done green and red because you're doing whatever's high and low or above or below target or previous year, but you can pick any colors you want. You don't even have to do the hex codes. You can set them to just say green or red, but I like using hex codes because you're able to get the color that you actually want instead of being limited to just something that whatever's set as red or whatever set as green. You can select whatever shade you want to be able to give you the color here. And the good thing about doing it as a variable is that you just got it set, and then you can just add these in as and when you go. You don't have to keep thinking, oh no, which one was green, which one was that, and you forget. This way you could set as many as you want. If anything, you could probably even set it just as your own different measures. You don't even have to have them in here. You could just have a whole measure table of all different conditional formattings and then use that here. But for now, this is where it is. So you can create your variable. So you just do VAR and then type in whatever you want to call it, and then equals, and then you want to put them in quotation marks, and then they'll work as an actual color. And then below here is where I've done 3 sets of variables really. This is technically the result, and these two are the 2 different conditional formats. You could technically do them as separate measures, but I like to do it like this because then it's just keeping everything all in one place and having multiple measures. So for the max and min, which is the high and low, all you want to be able to do is set what your max x is. So max x, this allows you to then be able to select the measure as a max. Max was set based on what a field is, so a column in your actual table. Max x allows you to actually use a measure within it. And then after the max x, before you include just the measure that you're doing here, which is total sales, you want to be able to look at the whole of the table that's selected. And the reason why you're using all selected instead of all is because you want it to be whatever you're filtering it by. And then you want to be able to put in what your row data is. So in this case, I've got subcategory as the row data, and that's in my dim product table, which is connected to the sales table, and that feed back the information. And then you do exactly the same for the min. And then all you want to do is go if max. So if total sales equals the max, so that's what it's doing. It's looking for what the max number is, then highlight it green, and whatever the min is against the total sales, make it red, and then everything else white. As you can see here, I've just written white. You could use the hex code for white, but here you can just write white. Then that gives you your min and max. And then for the other measure that covers the versus previous year, I already have a total sales this year versus last year. If you're going to create this by yourself, all the logic is that you've got whatever this year is or whatever period you're looking at, and then same period last year is another one. And then what's the difference between the two? So you do your total sales, take away last year. Obviously, if total sales is more as a variance than last year, then it would be a plus. And then if it isn't, then it'd be a minus. And that's where it goes red or green. Then you set it to, if it is less than 0, make it red. If it's greater than 0, make it green, or is 0. And then that gives you this particular conditional formatting that we got down here. And then here comes the little trick that allows you to then utilize what is your selection under your filter, under that table we created, is basically now going, okay, if I select versus previous year, I want you to select this particular measure. If not, and I select high and low, then I want to be able to do your min max measure over here for your conditional formatting. And if you don't select either of those, which is basically then the none selection, then make everything white. And then all I'm doing is returning that as a result. This is what I've called it, result here. Technically, you could have done return here and there. I like being able to debug a lot of information when it comes to variables. So it's good to be able to always have your final output as a variable as well. That's the reason why I've got result here instead of just doing my return and then using this as my final result in this particular measure. And then as we can see, we can switch out these to be none for white, high, low, and versus previous year. And then all you have to do is just recreate those for any other metric you have, and then it gives you the output. Just remember, if you've got a different metric that kind of works in a different way, meaning that if something's high that's actually negative, then all you do is just switch around the color scheme and it gives you the output. So like here, discount amount. So if I was to switch this back out to the one that I created in the example, you can see if I do high low, discount amount, if it's high, that's a negative, where if it's lower, that's a positive. So even though high and low, different colors, depending on what it is, you can switch them around. And the other great thing is, because the conditional formatting is set within whatever measure you selected, if you wanted to use this with field parameters, you can, because here I've done exactly that. So as you can see, we switched to profit and then it changes, but margin is set. So it's not part of this. I haven't created one that gets changed when you select the filter here, so that's why that's hard coded. It's still got the one that I just created against the conditional formatting for total sales, but within here we've got the original one that was shown as the example here. So as you can see, we can switch back and forth. Then if we go average discount, you've got all the different ones. Any of the ones that are white are ones where they haven't been created yet, but you can switch back and forth. And then you're not only limited to what you have as your rows as well. So as you can see here, we did one where we're using subcategory for our highs and lows, but here we have state. Now, if I was to switch to product subcategory here, it keeps it. So we still got the functionality clicking back and forth. However, if I select region, it disappears. And the reason being is the high low requires you to be able to set the all selected for the min and the max. And all selected won't work across multiple different tables. And the region selector and state selector are on the fact sales table. So what you have to do to be able to make it work if you want to switch between what your rows are using field parameters is you need to create additional min and maxes to be able to look at the different areas for each one. So here's the original one where we had the subcategory. All I did was copy that and then changed it to state. And then I just rename these like subcategory. And we don't have region at the moment. So if I was to go copy, so let's go back here and show you what that looks like. So if we go region, you see here, it's all white, high and low. Works for previous because that one is not using a set thing related to the column, but high low does for the min max. If we go back into here, and again, let's just copy this, paste, and let's go region, that region. And then down here, we've got a switch that's basically doing the min max. If the title selector is the This is the title of the field parameter. So if it's called region, oh, I don't want to do state, I want to do region. Change that, click back, and now we have total sales with a min max. We don't have the total profit because we haven't created those, but we now have it for our total sales. And that's how you do the switchback. And if you want to know how you do all of those things with the field parameters, check out this video over here where I show you how. And as always, until next time.